Welcome back, terrestrials, to the Quarantine Movie Reviews. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about a movie that I like a lot. I think it kind of went under the radar, so I'm hopefully going to give it a little bit of notoriety with this. The movie's called Arizona. And no, I'm not talking about Raising Arizona. This one's just Arizona. It was made in 2018. It's a dark comedy / thriller. It was directed by Jonathan Watson, and it stars Danny McBride, that bird lady from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Luke Wilson. The plot is basically set amidst the 2009 housing crisis. The story follows a character named Casey Fowler, and she's a single mom. She's a struggling realtor, and her life kind of goes off the rails when she witnesses a murder. So a little bit more in-depth breakdown of that is she works at a realtor company, and Danny McBride buys a house from her boss, quickly played by Seth Rogen. And he goes back to confront Seth Rogen about the house that he buys because, he bought a house in a dead neighborhood. There's like 5 or 6 other people in this neighborhood of hundreds and hundreds of homes in this little deserted Arizona subdivision. And he ends up into an argument, an altercation with Seth Rogen, and he accidentally pushes him over the second story railing and kills Seth Rogen. This character, Casey, she sees this, and Danny McBride kidnaps her, brings her home, and, tries to talk her out of telling, or he basically goes through this thing where he's trying to figure out how to deal with the situation. And then Caitlin Olsen somehow shows up. She starts squawking, and he ends up having to kill her too. And then now he's so far in the shit that he has to kill Casey too, along with her daughter. So the rest of the movie is basically them, running from house to house, hiding, sewer systems, open fields in this little desert town, or little desert subdivision, really. And, Luke Wilson plays the father and ex-husband of this lady. And he spends most of the time on the phone just going, I'm on my way, try to stay safe. He did a good job in this movie, but I'll always just see him as the dude from Old School. Sorry, Luke. I wish I just don't see much range from him ever. It just seems like Luke Wilson is doing something in a movie. So, it's hard to give him big props. The movie is a solid movie. It's definitely funny because Danny McBride is fucking funny. Anything he does is funny. And I don't know if that's because, he's from the same hometown that I am. Maybe, the way he says things or the way he acts about things or just his cadence, they hit home to me because that's our sense of humor here. That's our way of acting towards situations. So maybe it's just a little bit more personal. But overall, this movie is something that you will enjoy if you are looking for something that is a little bit funny, a little bit intense, a little bit of a thriller. It's pretty mundane. There's not a lot of extremely funny moments. There's not a lot of scary moments, almost at all. It's just, a guy stalking 2 women to kill them because he fucked up. And the whole time, he's really bummed that he has to do it, but he knows that that's the only way he's going to get out of it. So he does what he's got to, I guess. The movie was real fun, and it seemed kind of raw. It seemed very low budget, but in a good way. Like, there wasn't a studio behind it constantly saying, "No, we need to change this," or "I want it shot this way," which seems to happen in bigger movies. It seems like whoever made this movie really loved the idea of the movie, found it very original, and wanted to put care into the way the movie was shot. Um, and I like that about the movie. I liked how there just wasn't a lot of scenery changes. It was all just in this neighborhood. It was all happening, um, and a basic, any size neighborhood. You know, the houses weren't extremely spread apart, so they were pretty close. Actually, I guess that's typical of those types of homes over there. I don't know. I have never seen them. These prefabbed neighborhoods in Arizona, but it was good. The colors were bright, and when it did get dark, they used that to the fullest of their camera abilities, and it was just a good ride the whole time. And again, I love Danny McBride, so anything that he's in is going to be a win for me. Um, so if you're interested in watching something that's a little bit maybe a little bit goofy, or slightly intense, light thriller, then you're definitely going to want to check this one out. I actually, after I watched it, I rented it, and then I turned around and bought it just so that I could watch it over and over again. It's quickly falling into a rotation of movies that I watch over and over again. So I gotta say this one, I gotta suggest it. It's a good one. If you've seen it, then leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of it, if you didn't like it or you did like it, or what your thoughts on the movie were. Like I said, this movie seemed like it kind of went under the radar. So I don't know how many of you have seen it, but if you haven't, you should. And I'll catch you next time. Stay safe out there, guys.